How's everybody doing? As you can see, my lovely, lovely background. I have a background full of tigers. So today, without further ado, let's talk about some concepts that we can learn for your comprehension. So in true-false questions, okay, true-false questions, you need to do these following things, okay? First of all, you need to read the question carefully to identify which paragraph or which paragraphs you can get your answer from, okay? Only give information which addresses the given statement. So you'll be given at least 3 statements, okay? At least 3 statements, and you need to tell me exactly whether the statement is true or false by first addressing the question. Okay, there are 2 parts to this. Number 1, you address the question. Okay, and after you address the question, you may be asked to provide evidence. Okay, so providing evidence is important, okay, but you must first of all address the question. This is the most important. So providing evidence is important, but is of secondary importance. Okay, addressing the question is more important than simply just providing evidence. All right, ensure that when you answer true false questions, that if you answer something to be true, every part of that statement needs to be true. Okay, so for example, I have a statement: John likes eating candy and playing football. Okay, if John likes eating candy, that's true, but he doesn't like playing football, you still can't write true. Okay, you must write false. As long as one part of that statement is not true, you have to write false. So it's a lot easier to be false than it is to be true. Everything in the statement must be accurate for you to say true. If there is just a slight difference in meaning from one word, okay, you have to write false. Okay, so false, it's easier for something to be false than it is for something to be true. What do you mean by not logical guy, Chure? I am about the most logical person you'll know. All right, so today, I'm going to read to you this passage about Edward and the mechanical tiger, or the last tiger. Okay, the room was quiet, closed in and dark, but for the low rumble of deep breathing and 2 burning eyes in the corner. Okay, so this low rumble of deep breathing is the breath of the tiger. And the burning eyes, the tiger was staring at Edward. Edward paused at the door. Smell that? The man asked. That the smell of a living tiger. Okay, so this tiger has a smell of the tiger. It has the sound of a tiger. It has the look of a tiger. Taking up most of the room was a giant cage with smooth silver bars. Plastic branches were arranged to imitate the long-lost forest. Okay, so I'm going to highlight for you plastic branches. Why is there plastic branches? Okay, we have a clue over here. Okay, and this word here, long-lost forest. So we know that this setting of this story is no longer in present-day Earth. We are in a mythical or a fictional Earth that may probably be in the future or right now. We don't know, but it's definitely not the Earth that we are in today. How do I know this? Because there are no longer any forests. Okay, there are no longer any trees. Correct, Shfira? The tiger was lying at the very back, crisp black and dull orange stripe. Now, crisp black here means that it's black. The black part of its fur is very clear, very defined, very dark. Okay, when you call it crisp black. And dull orange. So I gave you this picture here because dull orange, right, kind of looks like the orange over here. This orange that this tiger has, that I have the picture of, this kind of orange is a dull orange, not a very bright orange like my background. Okay, this is the dull orange. Great paws stretched out in front, hind legs and rump like a shadowy mountain range. Okay, so the word shadowy I highlight here because it sets the mood. Okay, something that's shadowy, mountain. These 2 words give you the idea of danger. Okay, now mountain don't give you the idea of danger. Mountain gives you the idea of greatness or power. Okay, so these are, boys and girls, these are tone and mood words. Okay, these are tone or mood words. Okay, tone or mood words. The words that I highlight, shadowy, crisp, dull, all these are tone and mood words. The animal did not cower or cringe. It didn't hide. Neither did it attack. It just watched. Okay, so we know that this animal is really strong because it doesn't feel threatened. It doesn't need to be aggressive. It can just stay there. It's so cool. It's so calm. It doesn't need to do anything. It just stays there and just be cool. A rump, boys and girls, a rump is a bump. Like your backside is the rump. Okay, now tigers have really big butts because they have very powerful legs. Yes, a rump is your bottom. Cringe. Cringe means to go like, that means it wasn't fearful or it wasn't disturbed, not fearful. And it is also not disturbed. Sorry, my handwriting. Okay, it was not fearful, it was not disturbed, it didn't cringe, it didn't cower. Cower means to hide. So we know that this tiger is very calm. Okay, now paragraph 2, cringe is like, it's to cringe, like, humans, yucks. Cower. Looks uncannily lifelike, doesn't it? Most of its original bones and flesh remain intact. Now, let's look at this words here. If someone says that, oh, you look uncannily lifelike, means that, oh, this person looks really alive. And this means that this person is not alive. So if this tiger looks uncannily lifelike, it means that this tiger is not alive. Its original flesh and bones remain intact. So it still has it was once alive. Okay, this tiger is once alive. It still has flesh. It still has the bones that it had when it's alive, but it's no longer alive because most of it is now a cyborg or a android. Okay, so yeah. One day, we believe that science will be so advanced that even when a person is almost dead, right, that we can replace many parts of his body with robots and that person will still be alive. You can go explore on this topic. I did this in university. It was very fun. It's called transhumanism. Okay, if one day you believe that, you want to be half robot and half human, and you will volunteer yourself for experiments so that you may live forever or become like a superhuman, right? That is called transhumanism. And many people are interested in it. I was learning it in university, but yeah, I didn't master it. But there you go, transhumanism. Don't worry, you'll get your money's worth. You need to understand that unlike a real animal with a functioning heart and other internal organs, the tiger's heart and other internal organs needed a synthetic maintenance system. Okay, I'm going to highlight for you this word, synthetic maintenance system. Okay, so synthetic, boys and girls, means that this maintenance system is artificial. Okay, his heart, his lungs, his organs are all operated not from his brain, not operated because he's alive, but because there's a computer inside his brain telling it to move, telling these things to beat. Okay, so the tiger that you see here is kind of half tiger but half robot. So no, the tiger isn't purely natural, but it's still the most alive. Okay, now when you see open and close inverted commas like this, boys and girls, the author is trying to say that he doesn't think it is, or the author is trying to show sarcasm. Okay, so the author's effect of putting open and close inverted commas, okay, can be to show sarcasm. Okay, so if I say, oh, your friend is so handsome, like with two inverted commas, it means that your friend is not handsome. So if I say, oh, this tiger is alive, it means that this tiger is not alive. Okay, do you want it or not? Sounds so Singlish. Edward could feel the tiger's eyes boring into him. Now, boring means that the tiger is not bored. Boring is another word for drilling. Okay, he could feel the tiger's eyes drilling into him, looking straight into him, telling him, buy me, or I'll eat you. Okay, the man continued, and I need to teach you how to look after a living thing. It requires a lot more care than you'll be used to. Like all living things, the tiger needs to be fed. Always remember to feed it. Okay, now paragraph 4, the last tiger. Now paragraph 4 is very important because we have 4 questions or 3 questions that come from paragraph 4. So we do need to, maybe if you want, you can take a print screen of this or a photograph of this. I'm going to explain. You can take the photograph now while I explain. The last tiger was certainly a lot of work to look after. Okay, this thing tells me that it is high maintenance. Okay, if something is a lot of work to look after, it is high maintenance. Okay, so sometimes some husbands or some wives say that their spouse is high maintenance, means that they require a lot of effort to look after. Okay, it needs feeding several days a week, which tells me that it is high maintenance. It requires massive raw chunks of nutrient-rich protein slabs. Now, this one doesn't tell me it's high maintenance because I don't know how easy or how difficult it is to get the protein slabs for them. Okay, if something is high maintenance, it requires a lot of effort. It is very difficult or expensive. Now, if I say it requires a lot of raw chunks of protein slabs, I don't know if it's difficult to get it. I don't know if it's expensive to get it. So if I talked about the protein slabs, it may or it is not an example of high maintenance. Okay, think of it as a battery, the little man said, one that needs to be charged regularly. Okay, charged regularly, fair enough. Maybe high maintenance, may not be. The last tiger was high maintenance indeed. Okay, this part's important. As well as food, it needed clean water. Here is where it is truly high maintenance. Clean, fresh water was even harder and more costly to get hold of. So if you talked about the nutrient-rich protein slabs, okay, may or may not be, but this second part about water, definitely high maintenance. Because how do I know? It was hard. It is difficult. It is costly. It is expensive. Okay, so it seemed as though hold on, but Edward had been instructed to keep a large bowl full of it, so the water is expensive for him. To monitor and to top up as required, it seemed the creature would shut down completely if he failed to do so. So if he didn't feed the creature water regularly, the creature would shut down. Dangerous. Completely. It might never work again if he doesn't feed it water. Initially means at the start or in the beginning. Okay, in the beginning. Okay, in the beginning, the last tiger could not get along with the other animals. It tried to attack the other hydrogen-filled elephant, and left a deep scratch marks in the paint down in its steel legs. Okay. This part, in one of the questions is the evidence. Remember in the true-false question, right? This is what I consider evidence. Okay, but in the true-false questions, evidence secondary. At the very start, you must address the questions. If you have evidence, good. If you don't have evidence, that's also kind of okay. But important is that you need to address. If I say that the tiger got along with the other animals, you say no, you must point out this to me, that no, I disagree, because initially the last tiger could not get along with the other animals. And then the part in yellow here is the evidence. It caught the solar bird and cracked several of its panels in its wing. After a few initial problems, the last tiger settled into its new home. In the end, Edward reprogrammed the other animals to remain in the outer gardens. So the tiger was dangerous. And how did he prevent the tiger from attacking other animals? He reprogrammed the other animals to remain in the outer gardens. That's what he did to the other animals. What did he do to the tiger? He invested in an ionic fence to confine the last tiger to the left wing of the house. So for the other animals, he programmed them to stay out. For the tiger, he built a fence to put it in. Okay, it tried to climb trees, but the plaster and thin mesh frame of the artificial trees crumbled beneath its weight. It scratched in the grass, tearing up great strips of plastic lawn. Edward replaced the trees with holograms. So at first it was plastic trees, now it's not even plastic, it's just light. Okay, he could not do much about the grass. It seemed to like Edward at least. So if you are thinking about keeping the tiger, right, this may be one of your reason or justification. Okay, that at least the tiger is kind of friendly to the owner. Okay, thanks to the electric shock it received the first time it tried to bite its hands. So it's friendly not because he likes Edward. It's friendly because he realized that Edward is not for eating. He realized that Edward is not his food. So this is one of the examples you can use to show me that you shouldn't keep the tiger because you don't know when it will attack you again. After a while, it started following him around like a faithful watchdog. The once aggressive creature had now become a more docile. Okay, docile. If someone calls you docile, don't be too happy. Docile means obedient. Okay. Now you can use obedient for boys and girls and for like people, but please don't call people docile. Docile is more used for animals. So if you use the word docile on a human being, you're saying that this person is obedient like an animal. I mean, it's not written in the dictionary, but it has that kind of meaning like, oh, he's so docile. It means that he's kind of like he's like a nice animal. So don't call someone docile. Don't call someone docile. All right. So question number one. Let's read question number one very, very carefully. Okay. I don't want you to make the mistake. I made the mistake in the Tuesday class. I'm here to apologize. But here's the mistake. Okay. The question here first. Explain why the tiger was described as high maintenance. So I told you what high maintenance is. Which of these options is not a suitable answer? Okay, so not a suitable. Earlier, I told you that the protein-rich slabs, they may or may not be suitable. Okay, I'm going to make it very clear to you. The protein-rich slabs can be a suitable answer. Okay, so I don't want to confuse you. The protein-rich slabs, feeding it protein-rich slabs can be a suitable answer. Okay, I don't want to confuse you. So which one of these four options is definitely not suitable? Okay, question number one in 3, 2, 1. All right, are you believers? Because I believe that we got it kind of okay. exactly 50% of you got it correct. Okay, exactly 50% of you got it correct. 33 of you didn't answer. Okay, so the thing is that a majority of you got it correct. That's the good part. But there's still many of you who didn't get it right. I already mentioned earlier for number one, I gave you a very big clue that definitely this can be considered something that's high maintenance. So you cannot use this as part of your answer. Okay, it needed fresh, clean water that was hard to obtain. This one definitely shows you that it's high maintenance. So this is definitely wrong. Definitely high maintenance. It would shut down completely if it did not have water. This is also true. If it didn't have water, it will shut down. Okay, but when we read throughout the passage, we realize, okay, if we read throughout the passage, we realize that no part of the passage did it tell us that the tiger broke down frequently or that it always broke down and it always need repairing. It never ever said that. It did say, however, that it requires a lot of things to be maintained, but they never mentioned how often it broke down. For all you know, it may have never ever broken down. Okay, but it requires a lot of things to maintain. So it requires regular food, difficult. It requires fresh water, difficult. It will shut down if it didn't have water, difficult, high maintenance. Okay, but nothing tells us that it always broke down. Okay, so next one, number two. The tiger would still survive if not given clean water. Very easy question. Very easy question. Okay, we've read the story. I hope that we get at least 80% in 3, 2, 1. Okay, most of you who pick number 3, right? The problem with 3 is that, listen carefully. So here's the problem with true false. This part is correct. If you pick number 3, this part is correct. Without clean water, the tiger would shut down completely. But did you read the question? The tiger would still survive. This statement, the tiger would still survive if not given clean water. But in the text, you can see here in paragraph 4, it seemed the creature, okay, over here, it seemed the creature would shut down completely if he failed to do this. So it's very clear to me that this statement is false. It will not survive. It would shut down. So if you say true, you are saying that this statement is true, that it will survive, but it will not survive, okay? It will not survive. So this part true is what causes you to be wrong. Now in true false question, even if your reason is correct, but your true false is wrong, the terrible fact is that you will get 0 for your questions. Okay, so you don't want to misread the statement. Okay, make sure you answer the statement very carefully. You think to yourself, false, it means that the tiger will not survive. If it will not survive, okay, it means that this statement cannot be true. Okay, so the answer is false. Without clean water, the tiger would shut down completely. So those of you who answered 3, right, you notice is very similar to number 1. Number 3, okay, true false question as well. The tiger settled into its new homes without any problems. Okay, so remember what I taught you earlier? What I taught you have to address is the most important. Okay, what's not so important is the evidence. Okay, so there is one question here, there's one answer here that is has only evidence, and one option here has only the address. Okay, you need to figure out which one is more important. So I leave you 1 minute. Which of the options is the most suitable answer? Very tricky. 3, 2, 1. We have got slightly over 60% of you getting this correct. 60% of you got this correct, and the people who got the most wrong answers would have chosen number 3. Very good. I mean, it's a good mistake to make. Let me explain to you why. Number 2 is the correct answer. This part here is addressing the statement. Now, you see the statement here. What is this statement? What is the keyword in the statement? The keyword is settled. The keyword is problem. So for answer number 2, there is no evidence, but there is the address. Okay, they are addressing the statement. How do I know? I see the word settled. I see the word problems. Okay. So the first thing you need to do in order to get your marks is to address this statement. And number 2 addresses it very nicely. Number 3 is very good evidence. Okay, number 3 is great evidence. The tiger tried to attack the hydrogen-fueled elephant and caught the solar bird and cracked his wings. Yes, evidence, but evidence alone doesn't get you the mark. Okay, evidence must be given with the address. If the address alone, you may still get the marks, but if you give the evidence alone, you don't get the marks. You get what I mean? So this question is so important to teach you, because the evidence, you should put it there. But even if you don't, always remember to address. Address first, then evidence. If you just give evidence, not enough. Okay, close but no cigar. And number 4, definitely wrong. It can't be true. So that's all. I hope you learned something. Those of you, the 60% of you got it right. Congratulations, you did a good job. The 54 of you, that's great because you learned something today as well. Number 4. In the end, Edward managed to find a way to prevent the tiger from attacking other animals. Which of these options is the most suitable answer? Read. Oh, very carefully this one. It's tricky, tricky, tricky. In 3, 2, 1. So, and also, a lot of you got this question correct. Very good, 75%. The only problem is that the mistakes are spread apart. So I don't know which one to explain. Let's talk about the second highest, number 4. True, Edward had reprogrammed the other animals and invested in an ionic fence to keep out the other animals. Okay, this is where things get tricky because number 4 is very similar to number 3. But here's what the ionic fence is. If we remember clearly, so the reason why I don't show you the text is because sometimes your memory is even more important than the text. Okay, so if you remember accurately, okay, if you remember very accurately, the part I highlighted in red, okay, invested in an ionic fence to do what? Not to keep the other animals out, but to keep the last tiger in, So your evidence here, this part is wrong. The scary thing about true false is that everything needs to be correct. So the front part, yes, correct, but the back part is wrong for number 4. So it makes the entire thing wrong. Now, if you say false, false is definitely wrong because he did manage to prevent the tiger from attacking other animals. In the end, he managed to prevent the tiger from attacking other animals. Okay, he did quite a few things. So if you answered false, definitely wrong. So those of you who picked 1 and 2, 36 of you pick 1 and 2. It's quite scary. Read the questions correctly. If it's true, it means that it answers everything is accurate. If it's false, means that something is not accurate. So this part here, this entire portion, every part is true. He did finally manage to keep the tiger away from attacking other animals. How did he do this first part? He reprogrammed the other animals to remain in the outer gardens, first part. Second part, he invested in an ionic fence to confine the tiger to the left wing of the house. So number 3 is correct. Number 5, in paragraph 2, the man describes the tiger as still the most alive animal Edward would find in this day and age. What does the use of the open inverted commas in the underlined word suggest about the tiger? Okay, suggest about the tiger. Okay, I'm not going to give you any clues. I'm just going to see how you answer this by yourself. Question number 5 in 3, 2, 1. All right, let's look at the results. So dear, not very well answered. Okay, number 1, right? Boys and girls, is definitely wrong. Because it's not really a live tiger at all. It's a dead tiger, it's a robot tiger. So it is not the true last remaining live tiger. It's the last remaining tiger, but it is not a live tiger. Like they mentioned earlier, it is alive, which means that, I've said it 10,000 times, that it is not alive. The author is skeptical. Now, the author is skeptical if it asks you what does it suggest about the author's view, okay? But it didn't ask you what does the underlying word suggest about the author's view. Okay, it did not ask what does the word suggest about the author's view. If the question was what does it suggest about the author's view, or how does the author view this tiger, then you can say the author is skeptical that this tiger is alive. But there's no such word author's view. So the question here is phrased in a very deliberate way. It's your subject has to be the tiger, not the author. If the subject is the tiger, you have a chance of getting it correct. It suggests that the tiger is very hard to manage. Now, the word alive could mean that the tiger is very lively, very energetic. But when we read the whole story, we know that this word alive is not referring to how energetic or how lively this tiger is. If something is energetic or lively, it can be very hard to take care of it. But reading throughout, I don't think that alive, or at least you can infer, that alive doesn't refer to the tiger being hard to manage or lively. Alive refers to the fact that the animal is actually not alive. It is just a mechanical creature. Okay, so the answer is number 4. It's not, it is hard to manage, but the word alive doesn't suggest that it's hard to manage. It suggests that it's actually not alive. Okay, I've said this. So the answer here, yes, you can use evidence here. It was a faithful companion. Oh no, it requires so much work to keep it functioning. It's a hippo. So what about your favorite animals today? Okay, here are some animals that are about to go extinct. Maybe in the next 20 to 50 years, you may not see them no more. You will not see them. You may not see them anymore. Okay, the first animal, yes, right? It's endangered and you can only find it in Africa. The koalas are adorable. Oh dear. Koalas, right, are not very smart creatures. Like a lot of them get burnt in this forest fires in Australia. But nonetheless, this animal is a gorilla, also known as the strongest primate in the world. Why? No, but koalas are really not very smart. Like they survive, right? Or they don't go extinct because they're cute. Like if nature had its way, koala bears would have gone extinct really fast. But they didn't go extinct because they're so cute, right? People like, oh, so cute, let's keep them in zoos. And due to deforestation, these creatures are losing their homes and dying in large numbers. They're commonly found in the jungles of Sumatra, Indonesia. Any friends from Indonesia over here? Yes, the animal is a orang-utan. Orang-utan. Orang-utan, right, is actually an Indonesian word. It means the human of the forest. Yeah, orangutans are human of the forest. I have a small story for you. I don't know if you want to listen to it or not. I might not have time to finish it, but I'll explain it to you anyway. So when I was your age, I went to Sumatra before Sumatra got developed into quite a major city. And our tour guide says that there are orangutans there. So my father, my mother, myself, and my brother went to that area in Sumatra, and we expected to see maybe one or two orangutans. So at first, one of the smaller orangutans came. Oh, so cute. And then 2 and 3 more smaller orangutans came. So we thought, oh, there are 4 orangutans, very tiny, very cute. And then suddenly, right, more and more orangutans came. And as they came, they got bigger and bigger and bigger until that one orangutan came, which was like the size of all 4 of us added together. Started to walk towards us. And the whole group of orangutans, it was like an entire village of orangutans. I kid you not. I didn't even knew that they were endangered. There were so many of them. They walked up towards us, and I think they were going to like either harm us or speak to us. We didn't know. And we ran. We ran so fast. And the orangutans were running after us. It was hilarious. Then we all jumped up to our van, and they drove us away from the orangutans. Yeah, but I think now there aren't that many orangutans anymore. Many of them get hunted. Yeah, you can see off my screen. Okay, next one. The last one, this little animal is highly priced for its scales. 1 kilogram of its scales can fetch you $3,000 in the black market. This is you can find it in National NTU, Singapore, right? There's one there. It's a pangolin. Okay. In Chinese, it's called Chuan San Jia, and there's a pangolin god in the Chinese mythology. It's very cute. Yeah, you can find pangolins in Singapore, you know, that there are pangolins in Singapore, but maybe just 2 or 3 left. If you'll be very lucky if you got to see one. Yeah. Your favorite animal is the pangolin. You saw one. Okay, if it's in a zoo, it's not counted, by the way. There are pangolins in the wild in Singapore. You may even find one if you live near Punggol or Jurong West, if I am not wrong. Okay, we have 10 minutes for 10 questions. Let's run. I was whizzing down a slide. I was moving so quickly that everything was a giant, but plop, I landed on what appeared to be a forlorn beach. Okay, question number 6 in 3, 2, 1. Boys and girls, what's the meaning of forlorn? I'll give you 45 seconds, okay, because we don't have that much time. Forlorn has the same meaning as desolate. Desolate and forlorn mean the same thing. They mean kind of abandoned, okay, or deserted. Okay, so if a place is abandoned or deserted, okay, it's forlorn. Discarded means to be thrown away. So the beach cannot be, yeah, forsaken. Very good, Ryan. Forsaken is a really the most accurate word, actually. Okay, so if a place is forlorn, it's forsaken, it's desolate. Nobody wants to live at that place. Okay, and this beach is desolate. Next question, number 7. I sifted the sand through my fingers, trying to decide how it was different from regular sand. In 3, 2, 1. What's a sift? All right. Oh my God, you make it look like a fishing net. That's how bad my drawing is. Aren't you lucky I'm not your art teacher? Okay, the answer here, a sift or a sieve is the same thing as a colander. Colander is the instrument that you use to put like noodles inside or whatever food you have inside to separate the solid from the liquid, okay? And when sand flows through your hand, right, the finer sand goes through first, the thicker Bigger grains of sand get stuck at the top of your fingers. Okay, to sieve something, right, is to like allow it to slide through, the smaller particles to slide through. So sift is the same meaning as sieve. Okay, this is a sieve. Like you cook noodles, right? Sometimes you want the noodle to be dry, you use a sieve. Number 8, it felt more like powdered sugar than sand. I said, wait a minute. I thought I tentatively put a finger in my mouth. It was powdered sugar. Whoa, 3, 2, 1. Question number 8. Tentatively. I know you said the answer is wrong. Now, tentatively doesn't mean carefully. If you are tentative, that means that something is not certain. Tentative means uncertain. Careful means that you're doing it because you are worried or you are afraid of danger. You do something carefully. So the word tentatively is more similar to hesitantly than it is to carefully. Temporary, no. Your sorry, but your dad's understanding of tentatively is a little bit wrong. If something is tentative, in many offices they say, oh, let's set a meeting tomorrow tentatively. It doesn't mean temporarily, but many people think it's temporarily. Tentatively means that we are putting it there, but we are uncertain that it's going to be there. Okay, it's just somewhere for us to keep our minds ready, right? It's tentative, but we are not sure. Okay, so if you're hesitant, you are also not sure. Okay, so to many people who don't know the word, it does seem like a temporary, but actually temporary is not the right meaning of tentative. It means uncertain. Okay, I'm going to move on because there are tentative. Tentative means uncertain. Tentative means like we put it there for now. Okay, we put it there for now tentatively. But we are not sure that it's going to be there in the future. Okay, so tentative means uncertain. Next, number 9, I walked towards the shimmering water. I noticed many seashells along the water's edge. Careful, and your time starts now. Okay, the same meaning of the word in bold is not glowering. If you choose glowing, you're wrong. Glimmering and shimmering have the same meaning. It means that it's very glittery, very shiny. Easy question. Okay, those of you who chose number 2, glowering is wrong. Glowering, right? It's not the same as glowing. So that's where everybody got the mistake. The first one was glowing, which is very similar. Glowering means to stare at someone. Okay, Mrs. Tan was glowering at me when she saw that I littered in class. Glowering means that she stared very fiercely at me. Number 10, unique. Another word for unique. Quick question 10 in 3, 2, 1. Oh dear, my. Pretty bad. So you don't remember what it means. Exceptional means like the best. But exceptional also has another meaning. It means the only one. Okay. Unique also means one of a kind. Means that there's only one like it in this whole world. So solitary means like lonely. So solitary is wrong. Elite means the best, but it can be a group of the best. Lost is definitely wrong. So exceptional is the answer. Exceptional means like the only one, which is the similar meaning to this one of a kind. Question 11. Oh no, sorry, question 11. Good hygiene helps to keep bacteria, viruses, and diseases at bay. Besides physical gains, there are mental ones as well. For your age, besides physical gains here means benefits. Okay, besides physical benefits, there are mental ones as well. Okay, physical gains, if you say you're gaining muscle, then it can be increased muscle, but in this case your gains means benefits. Gain can mean increases, but not in this case. Okay, you gain weight means you increase in weight, but this part, gains, doesn't mean increase. Good hygiene is vital to our mental health. Vital, boys and girls, in 3, 2, 1. Vital means something is super important. And another meaning for vital, boys and girls, is essential. Essential is the same meaning as vital, which means that you cannot do without it. Okay, cannot function without something. Okay, so if it's vital, you either cannot function without or something is very important. So these two have the same meaning. Vital is very important. Check my vitals. I'm still alive. Still alive for the last 3 questions. Question number 13. Many people tend to disregard the importance of flossing. So disregard in 3, 2, 1. In this case, disregard doesn't mean what you think it means. Okay, only 92 of you got it correct, but then again, most of you have left. Disregard doesn't mean to disrespect someone, although it can mean that disregard means to underestimate. Okay, if I disregard the importance of exercise, means I underestimate. If I disregard Mr. Lewis, means I underestimated him. Okay, I disregard his shiny forehead. I underestimated how shiny his forehead is. Number 14. Sometimes we forget washing our hands before meals. So sometimes, another word for sometimes in 3, 2, 1. Hey, 99 of you got it correct. The correct answer is number 3. Okay, if you do things sometimes, you do it occasionally. Occasionally is the most similar meaning to sometimes. Periodically and intermittently has the meaning of quite regularly. Okay, routinely as well, very regularly. Sometimes is best described as occasionally. Number 15. Sanitizing gel can be handy when we are having our meals. Handy dandy. And in 3, 2, 1, what is handy? Handy means efficient or accessible or manageable or useful. Handy means something is very useful. Okay, so wow, I find that this hammer is very handy. I can use it all the time. So something that's handy, something very useful. So thank you very much, boys and girls. We are done for today. Thank you for staying around. Bye.